So when you have that mindset, when challenges do come, you know you got this. You can handle it because you've already been doing it. You've already been taking the chances. And well, that's what this is all about. Equipping you for the stuff that life is going to throw your way. Eagerly stepping into the darkness with blind faith. Welcome to Grit, Grace, and Inspiration. I'm your host, Kevin Lowe, and I'm excited to welcome you inside. What's going on and how are you doing? Welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, Kevin Lowe, as well as a transformational life and business coach. I help people, maybe just like you, turn your challenges into opportunities. And well, that's basically what I figured out how to do in my own life. Figuring out how to take the bad, turn it into good, which at the end of the day makes me wonder, was it really bad in the first place? I mentioned that because, well, that thing that you could consider bad or good or indifferent was me becoming blind nearly 20 years ago. And over these past nearly 20 years, I have lived every day at no choice of my own with blind faith. And blind faith is the topic of today's podcast. Now, what made me really think about this topic was the guest inside of our previous episode. And that was Michael Hingson, a guy who is also blind and was in one of the Twin Towers during 9/11. And if you missed that episode, I highly encourage you to go back and listen because it's a fascinating story about how this guy was able to guide his office staff down the Twin Towers, him and his guide dog, Rizal. A fascinating story. The guy is awesome and definitely one of those episodes I encourage you to go check out if you have not already. But in with that interview, I kept thinking about this idea of having blind faith. Now, you may be thinking, but Kevin, I'm not blind. I get you, and that's okay, because you don't have to be blind to be living a life with blind faith. Because when I'm talking to you about living with blind faith, it's not about the idea of being physically blind. It's about the idea of trusting in yourself and in your dreams. It's about taking risks, accepting challenges, even when the outcome is unclear. It's taking a step forward without knowing where that foot is going to land. Now, myself, I was plunged into a world of darkness when I became blind back almost 20 years ago. And every day when I woke up, I had a choice to get out of that bed and keep living life. You could say living with blind faith in the ultimate setting possible, because here I was completely blind. And every step forward was faith that I was moving in the right direction. I want to encourage you to start adopting that same way of living in your own life, where you are guided by your hopes and your dreams, and you are not held back by your fears, worries, anxiety. How many people do you know, or you yourself, suffer from anxiety, suffer from nightmares, suffer from more worries than dreams because you're so fearful about the what ifs? Well, today I want to equip you with a mindset that's going to crush the what if scenario, because it's going to have you adopting a mindset of living with blind faith. And well, that's what today's episode is all about. Before we dive in, as always, I want to encourage you, if you would like to take this podcasting journey to the next level, I am inviting you to join my brand new Facebook community called the Grit, Grace, and Inspiration Community, a place on Facebook where we can gather together and do life together, leaning on each other, inspiring each other, and just getting through the ups and downs of life. It's a community, it's a neighborhood, and it's a place that I would love for you to join. So please check out today's show notes where I will leave a link that will take you right to the Facebook community where you can join today. With that said, it is my pleasure to dive into the topic of blind faith. So you might be asking yourself, all right, this is great, Kevin. Tell me why? Why should I adopt a lifestyle of living with blind faith? Why should I go into my challenges with blind faith? Well, I got your back. First and foremost, it's going to help you to further overcome fear and self-doubt. You probably have that voice inside your head that's constantly telling you that you can't do it, reminding you that you failed before, so why do you think you can do it this time? Why do you think that this chance is going to work out when all the ones previous didn't? Well, you know the best way to beat that voice, to smother that voice, is to do the thing. Because the fact of the matter is that voice is not right. That voice is there to just try to stop you. Well, I want to be the voice on your other shoulder, telling you that you got this, that it doesn't matter what happened in the past. It doesn't matter about what you worry that could happen, because worries are going to leave you stuck, standing still, never getting out of bed. I'm encouraging you to step blindly into the future. And by doing so, you're going to realize that more times than not, you will succeed. And by doing that, you're going to build up your courage and you're going to realize that things do go right. It all just starts, though, with having the courage, the blind faith to take the first step. I also believe that by living a life with blind faith, I believe that we become more resilient to the challenges. We become better equipped to handle life when things don't go quite the way we had hoped. Because the thing about living with a mindset of blind faith is that we step into the darkness eagerly. We look for the challenges to overcome, not knowing what will happen. But we know that if we never try, then we have no chance at ever succeeding. And when we start living with that type of mindset, entering the battlefield without knowing how it's going to turn out, all we know is we are there to give it all we've got. By living with that kind of mindset, I'm telling you, it's going to have a ripple effect on your life. It's going to be felt by the people around you. It's going to affect your life from this point forward. So when you have that mindset, when challenges do come, you know you got this. You can handle it because you've already been doing it. You've already been taking the chances. And well, that's what this is all about. Equipping you for the stuff that life is going to throw your way. Eagerly stepping into the darkness with blind faith. To summarize this little part, basically speaking, you want to talk about some personal growth and development? Well, baby, you're going to get there faster than you ever thought possible with this type of lifestyle by adopting the idea of blind faith. When you start accepting challenges, taking more risks, moving towards your goals faster and more eagerly than you ever have before, that's when the magic happens. So I ask you, are you ready? Are you ready to adopt a blind faith lifestyle? I think you should. But don't go anywhere. Because how do we do this? It's one thing for me to tell you to do it. It's another thing for me to tell you the benefits of doing it. But how do you actually start living a lifestyle with blind faith? First and foremost, It comes back to belief. I talked about this last week. Believing in yourself. Without the belief in you, you don't stand a chance in this world. And I don't care what we're talking about, what situation, you got to believe in yourself. And you got to believe deep down that you are capable, you are able to have all that you desire in this life. You, my friend, have got the power inside of you. And by reminding yourself of this, it's going to be that kind of self-confidence boost you need to be like, you know what? Kevin's right. I do got this. I don't have to be scared of the dark anymore. I don't have to be scared to find out what's on the other side. I don't have to worry. I don't have to go to bed at night stressing over what tomorrow will bring. Instead, I can live this life one moment at a time. And I know that if things get tough, that's okay. Because I've got the mindset equipped to handle it. That's what I'm talking about. To go along with this, I want to encourage you to fill your cup. To fill your cup with positivity. To fill your cup with self-confidence, of reassurance that you are freaking awesome. That you are way more awesome than you give yourself credit for. Now, one way to do that is through affirmations. Another way to do that is just by literally filling your day with nothing but positivity. Seek out podcasts. If you're doing that, listening to this one, well, you're already on the ball. But there's many other podcasts too that are all about lifting you up. Listen to them. Don't get sucked into the scary news, the negativity that fills the airways. No, you have a choice. You have a choice on what you consume. We think about this when we think about eating, that we have a choice on putting good food in our stomachs or bad. Well, it's the same thing that fills our ears, that our eyes take in. Whether we're reading it or we're listening to it, we have a choice. Be sure that you are filling your body with the good stuff, the right stuff that's going to be a benefit to you. Same thing with that is just being around people who have the same missions and goals and mindset that you have. Again, it's one thing to listen to the positivity. It's one thing to read things that lift you up, that get you excited. And then it's a whole other thing to actually feel the energy of people around you doing the same thing. Now, I get it. Sometimes that's hard to find, but there's a Facebook group out there full of people in your same exact situation on the same path you are traveling down. I guarantee it. There's a Facebook group for pretty much anything and everything. You just have to seek it out. Get in that community, get plugged in, and start leaning on each other, soaking up that energy, soaking up some positivity. And I'm telling you, when that tide starts to rise, all the boats in the harbor rise with it. And that's what I want for you. My last tip to help you with living this blind faith lifestyle is to go with the flow, to roll with the punches, to embrace the crashing waves. Let's face it, life is hard. It's normally never easy. Rarely does it go as we planned, and that's okay because it's life. And if you can realize that and you can go into it with that mindset that, hey, it's cool. I'm just going to roll with the punches. I'm going to bend when the wind blows. When you do that, you're already one step ahead of everyone else because it's much easier to go with the flow than to fight the current. You are already there. You're in the flow state. You are living with blind faith because you know that it's all going to work out in the end. Even if you get knocked down, it's okay. You'll get back up. You'll keep moving forward. I'm normally not a big proponent of kind of setting goals visualizing exactly where you're going to be because, well, I've lived a life where goals seem to be never met. Dreams sometimes never seem to come true. But in reality, a life without goals, a life without dreams, hopes, that's no life to live. So I encourage you on this journey of living a lifestyle of blind faith to really dream, to really believe, to really put yourself in the spot where you want to be, and then figure out what steps you have to do to get there. And yeah, most likely those steps are probably unclear right now. The future is murky. The water seems too deep, but that's okay. You know it. All you have to do is just take one step forward. You take that one step, you be sure your foot is secure on the ground, and you take another step. And you keep going further and further into the darkness. And here's what's really awesome, is when you start living with that blind faith, eventually the lights turn on. You get to see again. And you get to understand that by trusting, by believing, by hoping, by having faith in what you can't see, it will all come to light. With that, my friend, I want to leave you with the last thought, the last idea that if what you want seems too far-fetched, if what you desire is too hard to reach, I'm going to encourage you to just stop, to take a pause, and to really think, if I want this, if I desire it, if I dream about it, then it's worth chasing after. It's worth taking a step forward into the unknown, embracing uncertainty. Because by doing so, you will grow. And you may think that the prize is what you want, but where the pure gold is the journey in getting there. Because that's when we develop into the people that we become, the people that we are. I heard somebody say that the person they desire to be is themselves 10 years from now. And I thought, how powerful of a statement is that? Where we don't dream of being some superstar, some professional athlete. No, we just desire to be us, a better version of us, a version of us who's been through the journey, who's grown, who's developed into our best self. It's the unknown. And the only way we can get there is by stepping blindly into the dark, adopting the idea of blind faith each and every day. My name is Kevin Lowe, host of Grit, Grace, and Inspiration, as well as transformational life and business coach. If I can ever be a help to you as a friend, as a coach, please reach out to me. My contact information is inside of every episode's show notes or at the website gritgraceinspiration.com. Please reach out to me. Never hesitate. Would love to get on a phone call with you and let's just talk about what you got going on. That's what I'm here to do. Here to provide you value. Here to help you get through the challenges in life. Because, well, we all go through it. And it's just a little bit better, a little bit easier when we do it together. With that said, I encourage you to get out there and start living, stepping forward with blind faith. Hey, real quick before you go, I have one last thought to leave you with. I, of course, hope that you've enjoyed today's episode, but more importantly, I want to remind you that I never want you to listen to an episode of this podcast to hear something that I have to say or that my guest has to share and think, wow, I wish I could be like them. I wish I could overcome my own challenges and do the great things that they are doing, but I just can't. Well, friend, that's where you are wrong. You are capable. You are able. and you darn sure are deserving of having all that you can imagine in this life. There's nothing special about me or any guest I have on this podcast. We are all just normal people trying to make it in this life. And so I encourage you to take a look at yourself in the mirror and remind yourself that, you know what, I can do it too. Now, of course, if you would like help along that way, reach out to me, whether that's as a listener of this podcast, a friend, or if you'd like to work with me as a coach. My contact information is inside of every episode's show notes, just like this one. So go down, check out my contact information, and reach out to me today. With that said, I encourage you to take on the day every day with grit, grace, and inspiration.